Public Nemesis Media.
Do you ever wake up in the morning and wonder, what if IMRO managed to get autonomy for Macedonia? What if the Ilinden Uprising was a success and Macedonia became an autonomous region and then an independent country? What would this country be like? I thought about this what-if scenario for some time. Here's what I think a Macedonia like this would be and how it would have changed Balkan history. Macedonia would be 65,560 square kilometers large. It would border Serbia to the north, Bulgaria to the east, Greece to the south, and Albania to the west. It would also have access to the Aegean Sea. The capital city would most likely be Thessaloniki, which would also be the largest city in Macedonia. Even when the idea for a country like this was just something written on paper, it got a nickname, Switzerland of the Balkans. Looking at the inhabitants of this country and how to successfully bring them together, that nickname would make complete sense. The total population of Macedonia would be 2,247,574. Out of that population, 1,179,036 or 52.46% would be Bulgarians, 494,664 or 22.01% would be Turks, 225,152 or 10.02% would be Greeks, 124,211 or 5.53% would be Albanians, 77,267 or 3.44% would be Vlachs, 67,840 or 3.02% would be Jews, 54,557 or 2.43% would be Romani, and everybody else would be 24,847 or 1.11%, mostly Circassians, Serbs, Armenians, etc. Now, I strongly believe that for Macedonia to work, it would have to function with the principle Macedonia for the Macedonians. Basically, everyone in Macedonia would be considered Macedonian regardless of their ethnicity, mother language, religion, etc. Just like how in Switzerland everyone is Swiss, despite being populated by Germans, the French, and Italians. This way, the different groups of people would avoid tensions between one another. If Macedonia was a second Bulgarian state, or if Macedonia unified with Bulgaria, there would probably be protests or even separatism among non-Bulgarian inhabitants of Macedonia because they would feel that a Bulgarian-dominated state would rule over them. There would, however, be one thing where Bulgarians would have an advantage: the language. While there would be multiple official languages in Macedonia and specific parts of Macedonia would use the language that's in accordance to the population there, the Bulgarian language would be the lingua franca of Macedonia. After all, the Bulgarians were the most numerous and widespread group of people in Macedonia, so Bulgarian being the default language there would be pretty logical. Although I'd imagine that language wouldn't be called Bulgarian, but instead would be known as Macedonian Bulgarian. Sort of like how in Switzerland the German dialect is known as Swiss German. It wasn't uncommon for Macedonian Bulgarians to write in Bulgarian dialects specific for Macedonia. I have to clarify that Western Bulgarian dialects are a little different from Standard Bulgarian, which is based on Eastern dialects. Now, I admit there are things I can't know about this hypothetical Macedonian state, such as what would its anthem be, what would be its national flag, how economically well off it would be, etc. But I can see how such a country would benefit both its inhabitants and other Balkan countries. Firstly, Macedonia wouldn't have been divided during the First Balkan War by 3 different countries, and with that, the ethnic composition within Macedonia would be unchanged. Turks wouldn't have to move to Anatolia, there wouldn't be an expulsion of Bulgarians, there wouldn't be forced assimilations, etc. In this timeline, the First Balkan War would simply be Balkan War. Why? Because there wouldn't be a second Balkan War. Bulgaria can fight Serbia and Greece over Macedonia if they didn't conquer a square inch of Macedonian land. That would also mean that the Balkan Alliance would still exist and Bulgaria wouldn't lose a huge part of Thrace and southern Dobruja. Afterwards, when World War I breaks out, Macedonia can look like Switzerland even more because in this timeline it can remain completely neutral. There wouldn't be battles on its soil, their soldiers wouldn't be forcefully conscripted to fight for other countries, and those other countries wouldn't suffer as much as they have in real life. Serbs could regroup in Macedonia rather than getting to Greece through Albania. Greece could stay out of the war. Bulgaria could also not get into war because they wouldn't need to fight over Macedonia, and with that, they would avoid the national catastrophe that affected them after the war. Once World War I would end, the Macedonians, particularly the Macedonian Bulgarians, would avoid forceful assimilation. Sure, the regional identity Macedonian would be the primary identity of those Bulgarians, but remember that Macedonian Bulgarians already call themselves Macedonians since at least the late 19th century. Besides, I don't think they would deny their Bulgarian character. This is going to sound controversial to modern-day ethnic Macedonians, but if the regional identity Macedonian won, then the disputes between Macedonians and Bulgarians wouldn't exist. While we're on that topic, I believe that Macedonia would be Switzerland level of neutral during World War II as well. It would be a bit tricky. Maybe Hitler would ask an alliance and try to help Mussolini's troops fighting Greeks from Macedonia, and there would probably be an ideological battle between pro-German and pro-Soviet, and then later between pro-Anglo-American and pro-Soviet forces. But I do know that it would only be a Macedonian issue. In other words, there's no Bulgarian fascist occupier in this timeline. Macedonia would still exist to this day, and all those ethnic conflicts and bitterness today that are the result of them fighting over Macedonia simply wouldn't exist. Incredible how things could have been better. So incredible, it can make a grown man cry. That's my analysis of this hypothetical Macedonian state. You guys can comment down below on how you think this country would look like, how it would function, and other stuff. Thank you for watching. I hope this was worth your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.